Hey guys, so you finish shooting on your green screen, you get back and you notice that your green screen isn't so clean. Not to worry, I'm going to show you one way that you can take something that looks like this and turn it into something that looks more like this. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is take a step back. Whoa. Okay, maybe not that big of a step back, but we're on set right now. We're shooting against our green screen, poorly lit green screen. We need to take the footage from our camera over to our edit bay. So follow me. All right, so here we are in Adobe Premiere Pro CC. Don't worry if you're not using the same software. The concepts I'm going to cover here are going to be the same throughout pretty much every editing platform. It's just that your tools and settings may be named slightly differently. So the first thing we want to do is clean up the edges. So we can do that one of two ways. We can create what's called a garbage mat, but we want to keep this simple and easy, so I'm going to go for a crop instead. So I'm going to pull this side in a little bit. I'm going to pull this side down just a little bit, and then I'm going to pull this side over a little bit as well. You want to be careful and not get overzealous with your crop, otherwise you could end up with something that goes like this, which would look kind of weird on camera. So let's take this and push this over just a little bit. Yeah, that should be about right. All right, so next thing we want to do is to set our key. So when you're choosing your color for your key and you have an uneven background like we have here, you kind of want to choose a color value that's between your brightest and your darkest color. So something around here looks like it'll be about right. So let's choose this color. All right, there you go. As you can see, it did a pretty good job, although we do have some artifacts down in the side over here. But let's say you choose a different color. Let's say you choose a color down around here. Now, if you notice, I have artifacts above me. I have artifacts over here. Now, most keyers come with presets. In this case, Premiere Pro comes with a default preset, and then there is relax. Let's take a look at that. That did not do what we wanted it to do. So let's take a look at the other preset called aggressive. Voila, not bad. But let's say the aggressive setting is a little too aggressive for your taste. You can go ahead and modify the settings yourself. So let's put that back up to default and play around with two settings that will probably be the most important. One is tolerance. So the tolerance is going to tell the keyer how much tolerance it has on the color values that you chose. And the other is pedestal, which is there to remove noise. So let's play around with those two values just a little bit. And it's looking pretty good right now. It's not an exact science, so you're just going to have to play around with the values and see what you get. Once you're done pulling your key, you can adjust the edges using the matte cleanup. So under matte cleanup, there is a soften edge, which allows you to soften the edge, and then there is a choke value, which allows you to adjust the thickness of the alpha matte, so you can shrink it or expand it as so. So there you go. Just because you pulled a bad green screen doesn't necessarily you can't fix it in post, although I do recommend that you do as much possible in camera so that you have less of a headache when you do hit the edit bay. All right, thanks for watching. If you have any feedback or comments, be sure to post them below or just say hi. See you guys next time.